Chosen one, pause for a moment and feel the air around you. There's a stillness, isn't there? A quiet whisper in your soul that tells you something massive is about to unfold. You didn't stumble upon this video by chance. No, you were led here guided by a divine hand. Because Thoth, the ancient scribe of celestial wisdom, has a hidden message sealed exclusively for you, marked with the letter M and the crescent moon. That bold 333 blazing on the thumbnail caught your eye, didn't it? In the Christian tradition, 333 signifies the perfect unity of the Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, 3 in 1, embodying divine completeness, resurrection authority, and heaven's unbreakable alignment. Your arrival here is no coincidence. It's a sacred summons to awaken the encoded truth within your spirit. Why are you here watching this now? Is your spirit already sensing the magnetic pull of this revelation, feeling the shift as God aligns timelines and prepares your path? Have you carried the quiet knowing of the M etched in your palm, the crescent moon in your dreams, the unshakable sense that you were never meant to blend in? Before we unveil the scroll, if this resonates, comment 333 below, along with your city or country to declare, I'm here, I received it, I rise. That act marks your position in this global awakening. Like this video, subscribe to join the fellowship of the marked and share this truth with another hidden soul. Your engagement is alignment in motion. The chosen are gathering step fully into God's unfolding plan for you. You were never broken beyond repair. You were encoded. Every pang you bore was not merely injury. It carried meaning. Every instance where you seemed overly sensitive, overly intense, overly out of place in your surroundings was no error. It served as a sign, a cipher, a heavenly signature poised for activation at the proper hour. Might your prolonged wait actually demonstrate that you were safeguarded, not overlooked. You haven't fallen behind. You've remained concealed akin to a holy manuscript secured with wax, awaiting the individual attuned to its vibration to unseal it. What if all that appeared as banishment was in truth gestation? The quiet, the motionlessness, the stretches. When progress halted entirely. Those weren't penalties. They offered shielding for treasures of value, require secrecy until the moment of disclosure arrives. And now, the revelation commences. This transmission, this holy vibration has journeyed through eras. From luminous entities communicating via fire to primordial writers whose pens flowed with godly precision to the essence of Thoth, who inscribed enigmas onto the frameworks of rock sanctuaries. Do you sometimes ponder why specific emblems persist in your view? Why does the crescent moon seem recognizable, or why does the letter M awaken profound resonance within your essence? This occurs without accident. What you hold represents an emergence sealed in holiness, now pursuing liberation via your being. These indicators aren't mere adornments. They function as triggers, and once ignited, reversal becomes impossible. Like Moses at the burning bush, you have reached a sanctified boundary. Exodus chapter 3 verses 2 through 5 states that the ground beneath your soul has changed. The veil between the seen and unseen has grown thin. And once the soul has touched the flame of truth, it cannot pretend to sleep again. Even Pope Gregory the Great, a shepherd through storms of war and plague, once reflected, "The knowledge of God is not given to the curious, but to the thirsty." And thirst is exactly what you feel now, not for information, but for illumination. Let me tell you about Elias. Just a few months ago, he was invisible, a quiet church janitor whose days passed unnoticed. But then the dreams began. Symbols and stars, a moon drawn in gold, and an M glowing like fire in his mind's eye. He started sketching them on every fogged window. And then behind the altar of a locked storage room, he discovered a scroll sealed in crimson wax marked with the same signs. He never looked for the truth. It found him. Think of a pearl buried in a rough shell at the bottom of the sea. For years, no one sees its shimmer, but that doesn't change its value. Could your silence have been the sea that shaped you? What comes next will not just be a feeling. It will be recognition. The kind of recognition that doesn't strike the mind first, but the soul. This is the first veil being lifted, revealing a truth that was always yours. It never belonged to a preacher's voice or a written doctrine. It lived quietly in the marrow of your bones, waiting. Have you ever felt the strange sensation of remembering something you never consciously learned? That's not fantasy. That's awakening. You were never ordinary. Even in the quietest corners of your life, something about you refused to dim. The world tried, oh, how it tried to press you into a familiar shape. It wanted your emotions softened, your light diluted, your mystery explained, but you chosen one did not bend. You pulsed, you radiated. You confused those who lived only in logic because your presence whispered in a language deeper than words. Could it be that your silence has always spoken in the frequency of God? Now the fog begins to clear. The pieces rearrange, and for the first time you are beginning to understand why the mirror never showed your full reflection. Those strange markings the M traced in your palm, the crescent moon that found you in dreams in graffiti and scattered leaves, were never biological quirks. They were blueprints, keys, carvings of destiny etched not just into your skin, but coded into your vibration. Consider the story of Hagar, the servant who fled into the wilderness, unseen and unwanted, until God called her by name and opened her eyes to a hidden well. Genesis chapter 16, verse 13 mentions that she named him Elroy, the God who sees. Just like Hagar, maybe you've wandered in silence thinking no one saw you, but the markings were already there like secret wells beneath the surface. Could it be that heaven saw you before you ever knew to look up? Famous choreographer Martha Graham, who reshaped modern dance, once said, "There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action, and because there is only one of you, it must come through you. What you carry is unrepeatable. And now that it's stirring, it cannot be denied. Let me tell you about Deline. She was a calligraphy artist who believed beauty was meant to stay on paper until she began drawing the letter M with her eyes closed, guided only by instinct. One day she looked down and saw she'd drawn a perfect crescent across her forearm. From that moment she began hearing songs in her dreams, songs in a language no one around her spoke. She wasn't writing anymore. She was remembering. Even the crescent moon in the sky obeys a rhythm you've started to feel inside your own bones. What if these patterns you've always been drawn to were never random? What if your soul was simply waiting for permission to remember? You've never simply been someone who feels deeply. You've been someone whose entire frequency disrupted the scripts of this world. From the moment you arrived, your presence shimmered just slightly off the pattern. And that wasn't an accident. Could it be that you weren't made to match the rhythm here because you were sent to change it? You are not from here, at least not in the way others are. Your soul crossed thresholds most never will. You didn't just land into life. You were woven into it with intent wrapped in mystery, soaked in memories that don't belong to this age and carved with purpose. But what happens to a soul this rare when it's placed among noise? For many years, perhaps even across lifetimes, you began to question. You muted your knowledge. You silenced what you couldn't translate into language. Have you ever felt like the calling was too big, too strange, too untimely? So you did what many powerful souls do. You wore masks to feel safe. You became fluent in normalcy. You softened your light so others wouldn't flinch, but something in you refused to die. It wasn't stubbornness. It was a memory. It wasn't arrogance. It was a mission. You weren't breaking down. You were being hidden, held, preserved. What if your hesitation wasn't fear, but timing? There's a verse in Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5 that confirms, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I set you apart." Do you realize what that means for you? That the weight you carry was a sign before the world even named you. Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years of imprisonment and yet emerged with fire instead of bitterness, once wrote, "There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." Perhaps the masks you wore were never meant to protect you, but to protect others from the untamed electricity inside you until now. Let me tell you about Jonah. Not the one in scripture, but a 17-year-old violinist from Lisbon. From childhood, he felt out of place, never quite speaking the language of his peers. He'd often cry when playing certain notes, as if remembering something ancient. One day during a solo, he played a note so piercing that half the room began to weep. He didn't know what had happened, but his teacher, who'd studied mystic traditions, whispered, "You opened a portal." Maybe Jonah didn't learn music. Maybe he carried it from another realm, and you weren't lost. You were aligning like the moon drawn slowly into the perfect tide. Your timing is arriving now. Can you feel the pull? You've noticed it, haven't you? That strange repetition you can't unsee. The patterns that echo through your life like symbols etched on the edge of memory. The déjà vu that's too precise to be random. The way a room shifts before anyone speaks. The way your skin tightens before a lie is told. You're not being dramatic. You're being sensitive to the language of spirit. Could it be that your nervous system is tuned not to noise, but to divine frequency? That vibration you feel is not anxiety. It's information. What if your body isn't betraying you, but alerting you long before words form in someone's mouth? Your field has already read their intention. And that field, that's your signature. An electromagnetic imprint encoded not by science, but by soul. This isn't just energy. It's a memory in motion. Sacred resonance, spiritual fire. You weren't marked to be interesting. You were marked to remember that M on your palm, the crescent in your dreams, the quiet pull to certain numbers, colors, names. They were never coincidences. They are breadcrumbs leading back to truth. Do you ever wonder why you couldn't ignore them, even when everyone else did? Everything you've endured was not punishment. It was purification. The betrayals that hollowed you out, the silences that pressed on your chest like stones, the loneliness that ached in your bones. It wasn't abandonment. It was the alchemy of the sacred. Isaiah chapter 48 verse 10 affirms, "Behold, I have refined you, but not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." What if every fire you passed through wasn't meant to destroy you, but to purify the vessel for what you were always meant to carry? World-renowned poet Maya Angelou once said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." That's the choice you've always made, even when you didn't have words for it. You were being emptied not to be void, but to be filled. Let me tell you about Alaric. He was a glass blower in a small mountain village who couldn't understand why every time he shaped glass, he heard whispers in a tongue he'd never learned. One day, after surviving a devastating fire, he noticed his hands were glowing faintly at night. He went back to his workshop and found his glass shimmered with unseen inscriptions. People began traveling to see what they called the prophecy glass. Alaric never tried to become spiritual. He simply allowed the refining. And now, the same is happening to you. You're not awakening into something new. You're remembering what was never lost. You're starting to understand the ache, the restlessness, the pull. Can you feel it? The codes are no longer hidden. The time of rising has arrived. And you were always meant to carry the light. But before what's inside of you can roar like the sound of rushing waters, before your light can radiate in full brilliance, something else must happen first. You must recognize the invisible cage. It's not made of iron or stone. It doesn't rattle when you move. In fact, it's so silent, you've mistaken it for yourself. Could it be that the limits you feel are not yours, but inherited echoes passed down like spiritual debt? This cage is built from beliefs you never chose, memories that were never fully yours. Frequencies absorbed from wounded parents, fearful teachers, ancestral pong. It's a system of shadows, soft but suffocating. You think you're too sensitive or too intense or too slow to succeed. Those thoughts were planted, not born. And the soil they were planted in was fearful. Fear that if you remembered who you really are, everything around you would be undone. But the truth is, the prison was never sealed from the outside. It was programmed from within. And now the vibration you're beginning to emit is too high for those old frequencies to survive. That's why things are cracking, why your world feels unstable. What if the shaking isn't destruction, but breakthrough? Romans chapter 12, verse 2 urges, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This renewal, it begins now not by learning something new, but by unlearning everything false. The late Carl Jung, founder of analytical psychology, once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." What if most of your fate was just a loop of unhealed memory, replaying like background music you never noticed? I'll tell you about Michaela. She was a midwife who for decades helped bring life into the world, but never felt alive herself. She thought her purpose was to serve others until her hands bled. Until one day she dreamed of iron bars collapsing into flowers. After that, she began hearing a voice whisper, "You were never born to serve from depletion." She quit her job, moved to the sea. Now she sings ancient lullabies to the tide and says she finally knows what it means to be free. Even a butterfly must first break free from the cocoon's inner silk, a silk it wove itself. So too have you spun beliefs around your light, hoping they'd protect you. But now, chosen one, it's time to untangle the web. Can you feel it pulling apart? Can you feel the breath returning to your spirit? What comes next is not an addition, it's a removal. We are about to unveil the mechanics of the illusion that shaped you. Are you ready to see what's been scripting your reality from behind the curtain? Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a space that defies definition. There are no walls to confine you, no ceiling to limit you, no floor to hold you still. Yet this space surrounds you always. You do not walk through it. It moves with you. It breathes with you. It listens to you not with ears, but with vibration. Have you ever felt a room shift the moment you walked in? Even before you spoke a word. This space is not imaginary. It is your vibrational field, the unseen force that announces your presence louder than your voice ever could. It's the reason why some doors open before you knock and others slam shut without explanation. What if the people you meet, the love you attract, the chaos or peace you endure, are not random at all, but responses to your field? You see, your energy doesn't speak in intentions. It speaks in beliefs. Not in surface-level affirmations, but in the deep, often unspoken frequencies you carry in your bones. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7 states, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." What if the world isn't reacting to your words, but to the frequency your heart is constantly broadcasting? This is the paradox. The trap and the liberation live in the same place. You're not imprisoned by people, but by the frequency patterns you've unconsciously repeated. And you're not waiting for the universe to bless you, it's waiting for you to align. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential voices of our time, once said, "You don't become what you want, you become what you believe." That's not philosophy. It's a vibration. The universe doesn't read your dreams. It reads your energy. Let me tell you about Thoth. He was a blacksmith in a coastal village who never prayed, never read scriptures, but always felt like the sea knew his thoughts. For years, storms seemed to arrive when he felt inner chaos. Then one night, as he hammered molten iron into a blade, he whispered a truth he never dared speak aloud. "I think I'm carrying my father's anger." The wind stopped. The forge glowed blue. From that day forward, he began crafting weapons that never dulled, and his shop was always quiet. No more storms. Perhaps it wasn't magic. Perhaps it was alignment. Even the tide responds to the gravity of the moon in your life. It's responding to the pull of what you truly believe about yourself. What if your beliefs, not your circumstances, were the architects of your reality? So, chosen one, what do you really carry beneath your affirmations? What has your field been announcing when you're not even speaking? Because until you recognize the vibration you're truly emanating, you will confuse stagnation for fate and alignment for luck. The truth may sting at first, but it will set you free. Your life is not the result of luck. It's not a divine dice roll. It's not fate dealing cards while you wait breathless. Your life has been sculpted not by chance, but by energy. And energy doesn't bend to hope or desire. It bends to resonance. Have you ever wondered why certain people or patterns keep showing up no matter how full you run? What if the problem isn't that you're attracting chaos, but that your field has been trained to receive it? Resonance is a law, not a metaphor. What you emit, you summon. The pain in your relationships, the doors that slam just before breakthrough, the cycles of emotional drought, of scarcity, of spiritual exhaustion. They're not coincidences. They're echoes, mirrors. And the most startling truth, much of that resonance isn't even yours. You've been vibrating with frequencies inherited from the womb, from your mother's anxiety, your father's fears, your lineage's pain. You carry echoes of survival instincts passed down like heirlooms. Frequencies shaped not by your truth, but by your history. Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 7 laments, "Our fathers sinned and are no more, and we bear their iniquities." Could it be that you've spent decades punishing yourself for programming that was never your own? The field around you was trained to receive betrayal, to expect abandonment, to brace for rejection. And because energy is loyal to belief, it returned exactly what it was conditioned to find. Have you ever looked at a broken pattern and assumed it was your fault? Psychologist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl once said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." But what happens when that space is filled with inherited fear? Then your choice feels like fate and your freedom feels distant. Let me tell you about Soraya. She was a sculptor who hadn't touched clay in years. Her hands trembled every time she tried. She thought it was fear of failure. But during a silent retreat, she placed her palm on a slab of raw stone and burst into tears. Images of her grandmother's trembling hands flashed through her. That night, she dreamed of a statue half woman, half stone, whispering, "The fear was never yours." She awoke, carved the image, and sold the piece for more than all her past work combined. Even volcanic ash, what seems like destruction, becomes soil so fertile it births forests in silence. Could your pain have been preparing ground for your most sacred flowering? So chosen one hears the tender truth. You've blamed yourself for dysfunctions you were never meant to carry. But now that you see the blueprint, you can begin to rewrite the vibration. Can you feel it? That moment when the resonance begins to shift. You've carried energies that were never yours. Emotions that didn't originate in your heart. Guilt that didn't belong to your choices. Scarcity that didn't reflect your soul. Self-doubt planted in you by voices that never knew your worth. You absorbed vibrations like a sponge. Not because you were weak, but because you were highly attuned. Chosen ones are often the most porous, the most perceptive. But here, beloved, is where the shift begins. What if you are not the field, but the one who emits it? What if the static, the emotional clutter, the noise of other people's projections were never your truth, but only data your system absorbed? And what if you now had the sacred right to recalibrate every frequency within you, to purge the inherited guilt, the ancestral scarcity, the embedded doubt, and replace them with divine resonance? This isn't idealism. This isn't mystical fluff. This is ancient spiritual physics. Job chapter 38 verse 33 inquires, "Do you know the laws of the heavens? Can you set their dominion over the earth?" These were not poetic questions. They were divine invitations to align with the cosmic law of resonance. Energy is not passive. It is a directive. It sculpts outcomes. It answers only to calibration, not desperation. Leonardo da Vinci, not only an artist, but a physicist of vibration before his time, once wrote, "The body is ruled by the law of harmony." He understood that matter responds to frequency, and harmony is not felt. It is emitted. What you emit is organized. What you believe, you broadcast. Let me tell you about Emile. He was a calligrapher from southern France who hadn't touched ink in years. He claimed his hands forgot how to create. But one day in a cathedral, he sat beneath a rose window. Light fell on his palms, and he suddenly wrote the letter M over and over without knowing why. He later found that those pages placed under a tuning fork vibrated with music. Literal sound moved through his lines. He realized then he hadn't been blocked. He'd been tuned improperly, and now, finally, he was vibrating with the truth. Even stalactites in deep caves formed by slow drops of water become cathedrals of stone. One shift in mineral content, one change in vibration, and the entire shape changes. Could it be that what forms you is not force, but the consistency of unseen frequency? Thoth knew this, that those marked with the M, the crescent, the divine tracing would be born into systems designed to drown them in noise. But noise cannot erase sacred coding. These marks are not ornaments, they are instructions. Timeless proof that what you carry can be recalibrated, that the original frequency can still be restored. Before you can rewrite the frequency of your field, you must uncover what or who has been writing over it without you knowing. You must face the quiet invasions, the subtle siphons. Because, chosen one, we are now entering a battlefield most never name. A realm where energy is not stolen with violence, but with proximity. Where theft is not in broken doors, but in open hearts. And chances are, you've already felt the wounds. You just didn't know where they came from. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt a heaviness pressing against your chest, an unexplainable fatigue clinging to your skin? A restlessness that wasn't born inside you, but arrived like a fog from somewhere else. That's not anxiety. That's not imagination. That's a frequency collision, and sometimes it's spiritual trespass. This is the battlefield of energy theft, where not all battles leave bruises, and not every thief uses hands. Some use smiles, some use silence, some use dependency, expectation, or guilt. And the danger they often come in the faces of those closest to you, those who never learned to source their own light, so they fed off yours instead. Micah, chapter 2, verses 1 through 2, warns of this dynamic. Woe to those who plan iniquity. They covet fields and seize them. They defraud a man of his inheritance. Not all theft is material. Some take what cannot be replaced: your energy, your peace, your clarity. Author and trauma educator Dr. Gabor Mate once said, "Trauma is not what happens to you, but what happens inside you as a result of what happened." What if the real damage wasn't the words spoken, but the soul weight left behind? Let me tell you about Lena. She worked as a hospice nurse, known for her compassion and calm. But every time she visited a particular patient, she would leave feeling exhausted beyond reason. Her dreams became chaotic, her sense of time blurred. One night, she found a journal entry she didn't remember writing, repeating the words, "This isn't mine, this isn't mine." She realized then she had been absorbing fear that wasn't hers. The next day, she began placing a bowl of salt water at the door before every visit. The heaviness lifted. Even glaciers, massive, silent, and ancient, lose inches every year to unseen currents beneath. And just like them, you can be diminished by invisible forces if you don't know how to name them. So now the unveiling begins. You will see what was hidden, feel what was masked, and name what was draining you in silence. Because what you cannot name, you cannot confront. And what you do not confront, you continue to carry. Chosen one, something irreversible happened the moment you were marked with the letter M and the crescent moon. Your energy shifted. Your field became more radiant, more magnetic, more responsive to the divine. But with that illumination came exposure. Brightness doesn't just attract blessing, it also draws hunger. Your light became a beacon, and with that came vulnerability. What if what you're feeling isn't too much, but simply more than what others can carry? You're not just absorbing sadness, you're metabolizing grief. You're not just reacting to tension, you're translating chaos into understanding. Can you feel how often you've become the vessel for what others never had the tools to name? Energy doesn't knock before it enters. It doesn't ask if it's welcome. It flows, it lingers, it clings. Every room you step into initiates a subtle transaction. Every handshake, every glance, every shared breath becomes an exchange of fields. Some are beautiful, mutual, sacred balancing, but others, they're hungry, desperate void, not malicious, just spiritually malnourished. Matthew chapter 9, verse 36 observes, "When Jesus saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd." The spiritually starving are not evil. They are simply disconnected. But without awareness, you will carry what they discharge and the burden will feel like yours. Psychologist Brené Brown, known for her work on vulnerability, once said, "When we deny the story, it defines us. When we own the story, we can write a brave new ending." Could it be that you've been living out a story written in someone else's unresolved emotions? Let me tell you about Asa. He was a flute maker in a dry mountain village where rain hadn't fallen for years. He began noticing his hands trembled after conversations, even though he wasn't sick. One evening, he heard a wind pass through his bamboo flutes, and it sounded like sobbing. He realized he'd been holding grief from the villagers, grief they couldn't speak. From that day, he played the flutes each dusk facing the valley. Rain came the third night, not for the sky, but for the souls. Even sandstone, seemingly solid and invincible, is slowly shaped by wind. Not because the wind is strong, but because it is constant. Could your field have been shaped the same way, worn down not by force, but by the invisible erosion of unspoken pain around you? Chosen one, this isn't a weakness. This sensitivity is made sacred. But sensitivity without clarity becomes exhaustion. And clarity begins with recognition. You are not the dumping ground for forgotten wounds. You are the light. And it's time to protect your field, like it's sacred because it is. You felt it again and again. Relationships that left you hollow. Conversations where every word seemed to siphon a part of your soul. And environments that weigh on your spirit like wet stones. This is not your imagination. This is energetic leakage, and it's happening in more places than you realize. Even the places you think are harmless, especially those. Look closer. Every scroll through social media is an invisible ritual. You're not just consuming images or words. You're entering altars where energy bleeds freely. Comparison is the new currency, and your self-worth is being quietly negotiated without your permission. Have you ever closed the app feeling inexplicably depleted, like a part of you was taken and you didn't even know what was lost? That's not digital fatigue. That's spiritual hemorrhage. Not every wound bleeds blood. Some bleed light. The mind believes it's passive, but the soul knows when it's being pierced. When chaos that doesn't belong to you begins to fracture your vibrational field. The body registers it in headaches, in sudden exhaustion, in deep restlessness, and yet you keep scrolling, keep smiling, keep nodding, all while leaking essence. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 admonishes, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." To guard the heart is not to build walls. It's to become intentional about what enters and exits your sacred space. Public speaker and life strategist Tony Robbins once said, "Energy flows where attention goes." Your energy is not being stolen, it's being redirected by unconscious habits. Habits that must now become holy, because chosen one, you were never born to be a sponge absorbing everyone's wounds. You were born to be a vessel, selective, sovereign, sacred. Let me tell you about Sis. She was a barista in a busy downtown cafe, always praised for her cheerful energy. But at night, she would lie awake with intense anxiety that seemed to have no origin. One evening, she stopped mid-shift and sat silently in the supply closet, asking, "Who am I carrying today?" That question shifted everything. She began wearing a bracelet made of black tourmaline, not for fashion, but as a reminder to return to herself. The anxiety began to fade. Even coral reefs, seemingly immovable and enduring, can bleach and die just from subtle temperature shifts in the ocean. Not because the change was loud, but because it was constant. And so it is with you. Small, unnoticed inputs can unravel even the most beautiful systems of light. You must now become vigilant, not paranoid, but precise. Protect your field, not with fear, but with sacred authority. Say no. Log off. Breathe deeper. Listen within. The world has enough noise. It needs your resonance. You were not born to be drained. You were born to be a frequency, not a silent echo of others, but a living vibration meant to shift the very field around you. And those who carry divine markings, yes, the letter M, the crescent moon, were never placed on this earth to be consumed like fuel. You were designed to ignite, to activate, to stir dormant energies in those ready to awaken. But here's a question worth sitting with. Have you been radiating or absorbing? Are you setting the tone or silently responding to a song not written by you? Chosen one, pause right now. Truly pause. If something inside you is rising, a stirring in your chest, a warmth behind your eyes, a sense of returning to a forgotten knowing, declare it. Speak your field back into authority. Let this moment not pass as mere inspiration, but as a sacred declaration. I protect my energy field. Say it. Type it. Let the unseen feel the weight of your intention. The spiritual world listens when you speak from remembrance. James chapter 4 verse 7 commands, "Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you." Resistance begins not with rage but with intention. Your field is commanded by what you claim through words, thoughts, and presence. Renowned artist and visionary Agnes Martin once said, "Your path is not to follow others, it is to honor your own presence." She painted minimalism as prayer lines, as mantras, because she knew that stillness has power when chosen. So does your frequency when protected. Let me tell you about Jonas, a quiet gardener who worked alone in the outskirts of Marseille. He never studied energy, never read spiritual books, but he noticed one day that certain flowers only opened when he was nearby. Not for others, just him. The villagers called it strange. He called it resonance. Every morning he would place his palm near a bud and whisper, "Only light may enter me." That field, his field, became sacred ground. Even volcanic soil forged from explosive chaos holds the most fertile ground for life, but only when left undisturbed, shielded from erosion. You too must learn how to stand still but unyielding, soft but sealed. Because what's coming next requires a shift in posture. Thoth preserved a secret not for the curious but for the cold. A sacred key that unlocks the power to redirect energy, to bend the current, to align the field again. And it begins with two ancient forces, so simple, so sacred, yet most forget how to wield them. Are you ready to remember? There are forces moving through this universe so subtle yet so sovereign that they shape every frequency around you without a sound. And no, they're not found in crystals, rituals, or mantras borrowed from someone else's voice. The most ancient forces, the ones that awaken the dormant power within, are already coded inside you. They were sealed there long before memory, before trauma, before religion, before fear. These two forces are intention and presence. When aligned, they don't just change how you feel. They alter what responds to you. They recalibrate the field, pulling destiny into orbit and pushing away interference. But most people never touch this alignment. Why? Because most people live scattered. They walk, but they're not grounded. They speak, but their hearts are mute. They act, but their spirit is elsewhere. And when you're absent from yourself, your field opens like an unlocked door in a storm. Anything can walk in. Let me ask, have you ever sat in a meeting or a family dinner and felt like your soul was in another country? Have you smiled while something inside you screamed, "I'm not even here"? That's what it feels like when presence is missing. And when that happens, your energy leaks like a sacred vessel cracked at the base. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 1 whispers, "Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Go near to listen." As true power begins not in motion, but in intention, and intention without presence is like a flame with no oxygen. It flickers, then vanishes. Brother David Steindl Rast, a Benedictine monk, known for teaching gratitude as a spiritual path, once said, "The present moment is the only place where life can be lived." Could it be that all the power you've been searching for is not ahead of you, but waiting for you to arrive fully? Let me tell you about Leora, a cello player from Prague. For years, she performed with technical perfection but felt hollow after every concert. One day during a street performance, she closed her eyes and played not for approval but for the sky. A stranger wept openly. That night she wrote, "For the first time I played with my soul inside my body." That's the shift. That's presence reclaiming space. And think of the tides. Not just waves crashing onto shore, but the steady rhythm pulled by the moon's intention. Even the oceans obey presence. You chosen, one must now choose to return, not to a place, but to your own body, your own breath. You're sacred now, because your power was never about how much you do, but how deeply you're here when you do it. Presence is not just being still. It is a declaration, a bold return to the sacred terrain of yourself. It is not a posture, but a positioning, a full re-entry into the body after years, maybe lifetimes of spiritual exile. Presence chosen one is when you stop spectating your life and begin embodying it. When you become the drumbeat, not just the echo. You marked with the M and the crescent moon were never created to drift through life on autopilot. Your soul was not coded for mechanical routine. It was encoded to lead to cleanse frequencies in chaos, to illuminate paths others cannot even see. But the field around you will not realign until the soul within you fully occupies your body. This moment, this breath, this now is the gate. Have you noticed how rare it is to feel fully here, not just physically, but energetically rooted? Have you caught yourself nodding in conversations where your mind was galaxies away? That split is the silence of your field. But when presence returns, your energy begins to hum again, like a string pulled tight on a sacred harp. It calls what is meant for you and dissolves what is not. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5 instructs, "We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ." That is presence not letting the mind roam wild, but leading it into alignment, into obedience, into divinity. Yo-Yo Ma, one of the greatest cellists of our time, once said, "To be present is to be alive in the space between the notes." He understood that music isn't just played, it's inhabited, and so is energy, so is the purpose, and so are you. Let me tell you about Emery, a quiet nurse who worked night shifts in a trauma unit. She once told me, "I used to walk the halls like a ghost, always rushing, never feeling. But one night I stopped and touched the wall. I felt it. I was alive, and everything changed." That was the moment she stopped surviving and started returning. Her vibration began to rise. Patience began calming in her presence. Not because she said more, but because she was there. Consider the dawn fog that hugs the forest floor. It doesn't speak, doesn't move aggressively, yet its presence transforms the entire landscape. That's you when you return. Quiet, clear, transformative. And from presence comes intention, not passive wishing, not the soft murmur of fragile hoping, but divine command. Intention is the spear. Presence is the ground. Together, they part veils. They cut through noise. They say to the unseen, "I have returned, and I remember who I am." When you speak with presence chosen one, your voice ceases to be noise. It becomes vibration intelligent, targeted, sacred. It becomes a current that touches matter, that redirects energy fields, that wakes up sleeping spirits. When you touch with intention, your hands are no longer just flesh. They become conduits. Healing flows through them not because of mystical training, but because of memory. The memory of your original design. The memory of a time before forgetting. And when you breathe with both presence and intention, you shift into your true form, a vessel of transformation. You don't need incense. You don't need a complex ceremony or someone else's blessing. The power is not in the object. The power is in the one who remembers. Do you know how rare that is? Most people today confuse ritual with repetition. They do the action but miss the frequency. They light the candle but their mind is elsewhere. They say the words but their heart is sleeping. But you're not here to perform. You're here to activate. Let me ask you, when was the last time you placed your hand on your chest and actually felt it? Not for comfort, not for habit, but as if you were reconnecting with something ancient. Next time you do it as a sacred act. Let the warmth rise into your palm. Let your breath carry your awareness like incense rising to heaven. Don't visualize, don't force. Just remember, because you're not pretending, you're returning. Psalm chapter 46 verse 10 proclaims, "Be still and know that I am God." That stillness isn't passive. It's alignment. It's recognition of power without needing noise. In that stillness, you are not empty. You are concentrating light. Clarissa Pinkola, Estes Jungian psychoanalyst and author of Women Who Run with the Wolves, once said, "We were made for these times. Do not lose heart." She understood that the soul carries memories stronger than modern noise, that when we speak or touch from that soul place, the field listens. Let me tell you about Kai, a man who worked in a busy airport terminal surrounded by metal detectors and announcements. He started placing his hand on his chest each time a child cried or someone looked lost. He wouldn't say a word, just breathe. But people around him began to calm down. Security guards stopped arguing. Flight delays became less chaotic. Someone once asked if he was a priest. He smiled and said, "No, I just remember who I am." And picture a ripple across a still lake. Not forced, not loud, but unstoppable. That's what your energy does when intention flows from alignment. What if your field was never broken, only buried? What if you weren't waiting to be fixed, but to be remembered? And what if this memory isn't coming from outside of you, but from deep within your divine wiring? Because when you return to that memory, shadows melt, the static clears, and you begin to feel what no doctrine, no system, no ritual could ever give you: yourself, whole, aligned, sovereign. What if your body has never been silent, but you've simply been taught not to hear it? What if that subtle throb in your spine, that pressure behind your eyes, that tightening in your chest when you're around certain people wasn't a symptom to suppress, but a sacred message to translate? Chosen one, this may be the most overlooked form of divine communication, your body's voice. You were taught to dismiss it, to call pain a malfunction, to believe fatigue equals laziness, to numb discomfort with routine. But what if all this time your body wasn't malfunctioning? It was testifying. There is a place within you that has never forgotten the truth. Not the kind of truth you read, but the kind you breathe. It doesn't speak in words. It hums in your heartbeat. It pulses in the ache of your thighs. It tingles in your fingertips before a storm of emotion. It is not dramatic, but persistent. It is not loud, but loyal. And it lives where your soul and body kiss the temple of your being. Romans chapter 12 verse 1 beseeches, "Present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship." It's not just the mind that worships. It's not just the voice that prays. The body is the altar, and your pain may very well be the offering that transforms into purpose. Have you noticed how the body remembers what the mind forgets? A scar may fade, but the limb still flinches. A name may slip your memory, but your stomach still turns when you hear their voice. The body keeps score, and not as punishment, but as protection. Maya Angelou, poet and civil rights activist, once said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, forget what you did, but never forget how you made them feel." The same is true for your own soul. The body doesn't remember language. It remembers sensation. Let me tell you about Theo, a carpenter from an old French village. Every time he passed a certain mountain path, he'd feel his shoulders seize. No injury, no memory, just a tightening. Years later, he discovered an ancestor was buried near that path, unjustly condemned. Theo began praying there, offering breath and silence. The tension loosened, not cured, not erased, but transformed. His body knew. Before his mind could explain, his bones remembered. And so I ask you, what messages has your pain been trying to deliver? Which part of you have you silenced because it didn't speak in words? Have you mistaken exhaustion for weakness when it might be wisdom in disguise? Could your tension be a compass, not a curse? And what would change if you treated your body not as a burden, but as a prophet, those marked with the M in Crescent moon? You were designed to feel deeply because your body is not here just to move. It is here to speak, to channel, to awaken. Your body is not a passive container. It's a living archive, a sacred translator of your soul's frequency. Every suppressed word, every repressed emotion, every time you smiled while breaking inside it all found shelter beneath your skin. Have you noticed that knot in your throat that tightens without warning? That's not random discomfort. It's the echo of words you were never allowed to speak and that heaviness on your shoulders. Could it be more than physical strain? Might it be the weight of responsibilities you never chose but carried anyway? Just to survive, what if that ache in your chest wasn't weakness, but withheld love, longing to be released, and that dull pain deep in your belly? Could it be the fear you swallowed year after year just to feel safe? Thoth understood something modern medicine often overlooks. What isn't expressed doesn't disappear. It transforms. Emotional energy, when denied its path, solidifies. It doesn't vanish. It becomes tense. It causes fatigue, and eventually it becomes an illness. When energy stops flowing, the body begins to whisper. And when we still don't listen, it starts to shout. Proverbs chapter 17 verse 22 states, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Is it possible that what's drying your spirit isn't age or effort, but the grief you've never been given space to mourn? Frida Kahlo, the brilliant Mexican artist, once said, "I paint flowers so they will not die." Her spine may have broken, but her soul refused to rot in silence. She transmuted agony into brushstrokes. Do you see how her body, though wounded, became an altar for light? There was once a young man named Elias, a violinist from the north. His migraines came like clockwork except when he played. With every note, the pain faded. Not cured, not erased, but heard. One day, an old street musician told him, "Your pain is a song that's tired of being locked in silence." From then on, Elias played daily. His body still ached, but no longer begged. And maybe you felt this too. Your body resisting medication, but softening after a long cry. Muscles relaxing not with rest, but with honesty. Isn't it strange how truth can loosen a jaw more than any painkiller? Just as lava builds under the crust before it erupts, so too do our emotions build beneath our skin. When we deny them long enough, they don't leave. They burst. But what if your symptoms weren't sabotaged? What if they were sacred signals? What if tonight your body isn't failing you? It's finally telling you the truth. Even in your moments of breaking, there is an invitation, a doorway hidden inside the fracture. You were never meant to carry your pain like a curse. You were meant to touch it, breathe into it, and speak over it with the reverence of a priest anointing a sacred altar. The body does not respond to shame. It responds to the truth. It does not yield to force. It softens under the presence of love. Have you ever noticed how your breath changes when you're fully present with yourself? How does a conscious inhale seem to quiet the noise inside your chest? What if your healing has been waiting for nothing more than your own return? Not a doctor, not a solution, just you fully here, fully awake. Because the body chosen is not merely flesh, it's a channel. And when you breathe deeply, not out of habit, but with awareness, you open what has been closed. You loosen the tight doorways of energy. You let flow return where only pressure lived before. Have you ever stood beside a frozen lake in early spring and heard the cracks begin to sing? That is what happens when your soul begins to thaw its own silence. And when the energy begins to move again, it may surprise you. You might tremble without knowing why. You might cry not from sadness, but from release. You may feel your fingers tingle, your spine stretch, or your chest expand like it's being rewritten from the inside. That is not a weakness. That is memory leaving. That is the sacred realignment of your field. Romans chapter 8 verse 26 assures, "The Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit intercedes with groanings too deep for words. Could it be that your trembling is your spirit praying through the body when words no longer reach? You don't need an audience. You don't need permission. Dancing alone in your room, swaying in moonlight, stretching on the floor in silence. These become rituals, sacred, unseen, yet powerful. Your body remembers the temple. It is, but it needed your permission to open the doors again. Let me tell you about Sarah, a dancer who had lost her will to move after losing her brother. Months passed and she could barely rise from bed. But one evening she stood barefoot on the cold tile and just swayed. No music, no choreography, just breath and grief. Her body wept with her. But the next morning something had shifted, she said. My healing began not with a therapist, but with my hips. She didn't dance to perform. She danced to survive. Love entered through motion. And now we arrive at the force that changes everything, the oldest, highest, most radiant frequency in the universe. The one that does not force, but transforms. It is not romance. It is not need. It is not conditional affection. It is sacred love. The vibration of God's presence flowing through all creation, not a feeling, a frequency. Could it be that you've been waiting for a love you already carry? Could it be that this energy, this divine intelligence has never left you but waited for you to remember it, because this love does not just soothe it, reorders. It melts walls not with heat, but with holiness. It is the flame that does not burn, but blesses. And this is where your next layer begins. Thoth knew this. So did the ancients, and those marked with the M and the crescent moon. You chosen one were not merely chosen to talk about divine truth. You were chosen to embody it. Your soul did not come here to echo the noise of this world. It came to return the very vibration of reality, not with force, not with rebellion, but with a tone so pure it cuts through confusion like sunlight pierces fog. That tone is love. But what if love isn't what you've been told? What if love isn't an emotion you fall into, but a frequency you return to? Could it be that everything you're seeking externally has always been encoded within your field, just waiting for you to activate it? This frequency, sacred love, is not sentimental. It's not needy. It's not entangled in longing or pain. It's the vibration that remembers what trauma has dismembered. It integrates the fragments. It soothes the chaos. It speaks to your cells saying, you are safe now. You are whole. And when you attune to this resonance, the impossible begins to soften. Your shoulders release, your heart unclenches, your nervous system recalibrates. Psalm chapter 147, verse 3 promises that he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Could it be that love doesn't need to diagnose you to heal you, that it can simply enter uninvited and still restore? I'll tell you about Father Matteo, a humble priest in a remote Italian village. He never preached long sermons. He rarely used scripture in his speech. Yet people came from distant towns just to sit near him. They said being around him felt like breathing clean air. One day a traveler asked, "What do you do that makes people feel peace?" Matteo smiled and said, "I don't teach them anything. I just don't resist their pain. I let love stay." And with that, healing would begin. You see, love doesn't fix like a mechanic. It holds like a mother. It doesn't chase what's running away. It simply stays open for what is ready to return. Isn't that what your soul has longed for all along? A place where nothing needs to be earned and nothing is too broken to be held. Even the parts of yourself you've been taught to hate, the shame, the grief, the scars, they are not barriers to love. They are portals through which love can enter most deeply. What if you placed your hands over the place in your body that aches the most and simply said, "You're not a mistake. I'm staying with you"? What might shift? There was a woman named Kina who had spent years battling self-hatred. Her body carried abuse. Her heart carried betrayal. But one night, instead of trying to escape her feelings, she did something radical. She lay still, closed her eyes, and whispered to her pain, "I'm not leaving anymore." She wept, and something opened. The next day, for the first time in years, she looked in the mirror and didn't flinch. You don't need an audience to begin this. You don't need sacred oils or mantras. You just need the willingness to become the sanctuary you once searched for. Just as a dying garden can bloom again if the soil is warmed with light, so too can your inner world begin to awaken, not because it was barren, but because it had forgotten spring. When you let love overflow from you, it no longer stays trapped inside your chest. It becomes your field, your environment, your very signature. It starts gently, almost imperceptibly, a warmth in your presence, a stillness in your gaze. And yet those around you begin to shift before you speak, before you explain. Your field speaks first. It calms tension. What does love look like in traffic? What does peace sound like in conflict? What does divine wisdom feel like when your bills are due or your boundaries are crossed? The ancient ones face this same test. James chapter 2 verse 17 reminds us that faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Could it be that awakening without embodiment is like light with no warmth? A song that is never sung. Let me tell you about Ardan, a sculptor from a coastal town who began seeing geometric patterns in his sleep. He didn't understand them, but he trusted them. He started carving these shapes into driftwood. Soon people who touched his sculptures said they felt calmer, more whole. Ardan never explained them. He just said the shape knew where to go. I just followed. His art wasn't decoration. It was transmission. Now imagine this. You walk into a room where grief still lingers in the air, but instead of being consumed by it, your presence begins to vibrate gently like wind across still waters. You don't speak a word, but something shifts. The grief softens. The tension melts. You didn't preach. You didn't perform. You simply stayed aligned. Your field is listening. Your cells are ready. This is no longer about theory. This is integration. Because what use is sacred wisdom if it only lives in your thoughts? What use is awakening if it doesn't reach your breath, your touch, your daily interactions? This is where the unseen becomes felt, where vibration becomes matter, where what once lived only in meditation now infuses your meals, your movement, your moments. Everything around you is vibrating. Every color, every stone, every drop of water carries memory. These are not extras of spirituality. They are bridges. When you hold a crystal not for display but with clear intention, it becomes a conductor of light. When you sing into water, it rearranges. And when you drink that water, it doesn't just hydrate, it heals. This isn't mysticism. This is quantum biology, energy meeting structure, and intention meeting form. As Dr. Masaru Emoto, a Japanese researcher, once demonstrated, water exposed to words like love and gratitude formed stunning crystalline patterns. You are asking it to remind you. Each stone is a frequency, a sacred syllable in creation's infinite language. And when held with awareness, it hums back to your soul the note you once forgot how to sing. Perhaps you've noticed how one crystal calms your breath while another sharpens your clarity. That is not a coincidence. That is vibrational resonance. The field recognizes the field. Sound operates on this same ancient principle. A single tone, whether hummed in solitude or heard in sacred space, can pierce through barriers words could never reach. Why? Because sound does not ask permission. It moves through bone, bypasses thought, and speaks to structure. Have you ever felt your eyes fill with tears at a single cello note or an ancient chant? That's not music. That's memory awakening. Even color. What we often treat as mere aesthetics is speaking to your nervous system, your cells, your spirit. As the ancient wisdom of Thoth awakens the marked souls under the crescent moon, a greater voice now breaks through the veil with urgent clarity. What was whispered in symbols and hidden knowledge is now proclaimed openly by the divine. The preparation is complete. The call has shifted from mystery to mandate. Listen, for the God of all creation speaks directly to you in this pivotal hour. So understand this well. I am calling you to go further. Do not hold back now. Waiting could mean missing something later. My work is moving forward, and those who don't keep pace will be left behind. If you agree, my child, you will advance alongside me. This is a call to be aware, to line up with me, to prepare yourself. Because what I am releasing is not just so you can get by. It is for your life's work. For others who need what you carry, for those who need your turning point to find their own. You are not here to just observe. You are here to be involved. You are not here to just see my power. You are here to take hold of what I give. Speak it out with confidence. Not just thinking it, but acting on trust, saying you are ready for what I am about to release. You are not on the edge. You are moving to where I am working, because a strong force is coming, and it is specifically for you, my precious child. Have you felt things in your life have become slow lately? Things that used to happen fast now seem unsure. Ideas you are sure about now feel stopped hanging in the air. But do not misunderstand. This is not stopping. This is my perfect timing. A halt was put in place on purpose. I arranged a sacred pause, not to hurt you, but to keep you safe. Not to stop you, but to keep you firm. Keep you firm so you do not miss what is arriving. You ask why things aren't happening. You should ask what is being lined up. Because when things slow down in the world, you see it often shows things are being set right in the world you don't see. I pause things because something special is coming near. My way of moving is not as fast as the world's. The world tells you to rush, but my voice tells you to be still. You are not meant to follow everyone else. You are always meant to move when I move. And now I am staying close, waiting, watching, getting ready to move again. But not until you are fully awake, fully knowing, fully in step with me. The quiet you feel is not because nothing is happening. It is the calm before my goodness is poured out. It is the quiet that always comes. Before I speak, a gentle, quiet voice is calling you now. Everything around you is paused by me so you can hear my quiet voice. You have been trying to make things happen, pushing where things used to open easily. You have wondered if your abilities were real. You thought you missed the moment. But the word is plain. I am making the timing just right, because what is coming is too important to hurry, too weighty, too strong to give to those not paying attention. This quiet time is my grace. It gives you room to let go of what you depend on, to look again at me, to quiet the busy thoughts about what you expected. You made plans, but some were just to get by. You chased goals, but some came from being afraid. In my grace, I paused things not to make you feel bad, but to get your spirit ready to follow me. This time is not meant to annoy you. It is meant to change you, because the way you were before is not big enough for what is coming. You cannot receive this new thing with the same thoughts you had before. That is why you feel pulled thin by yourself. Maybe like I forgot you. But this is your time to get ready. Not a finish line, but a place of becoming prepared. The pause is not a penalty. It is preparation. This is where you become strong in quiet, in being still, in letting go of me. Do not use this pause trying to show you are good enough. Do not look for fast ways out. Let this time do its work inside you. Let it make you better. Let it make you gentle. You must be ready for what I am about to give. And this pause is my call for you to get ready inside you, where others cannot see change is happening. Habits that no longer serve you are fading. Ways of reacting that were fixed are loosening. Ideas you held on to are being released. This work is quiet, not showy. Yet it is sacred in my sight. For when I bring you forward, you will be different. Your path hasn't stopped, it's slowed. Because what is ahead requires your focus. I'm asking you to pause, to look inward, to silence the noise within, for my gentle voice matters more than the world's clamor. Do not dislike this quiet period. Embrace this time of rest, my child, for this stillness is special. A calm moment I've given you before the next step. This isn't hardship I've sent to punish you. It is the preparation I've given you to strengthen you. The quiet I've placed around you is a sign of my nearness. I've quieted things so you can hear the soft truths that get lost in the noise of life. Hear me now, my beloved one. The way into what comes next begins with honoring this time of quiet. The burden you carried felt too heavy to bear. It seemed designed to crush your spirit, to leave you with nothing. The pain, the sense of being abandoned, the void you felt inside, the swirling thoughts that offered no peace, it all pressed down on you. It brought you to a place where all you had was your next breath and the faint hope you held in me. Even that felt like it could vanish. And yet here you remain, breathing still clinging to your faith. Your very being here is the evidence. That time was not merely chance or the way of the world. Nay, it was a focused assault meant to break your core, to erase your identity, to prevent the future I designed for you. But that immense pressure did not break you into pieces. Instead, it refined you. I allowed it, yes, not to cause you ruin, but to reveal the deep resilience I put inside you. Real strength is only discovered when it is tested. And now, having been shown true, you are prepared for the path ahead. You didn't just survive that difficult period. You drew power from it. This is why some people feel uncomfortable near you. This is why circumstances around you rearranged. That hard time made you a threat to darkness. The one who stood against you knew that if you survived it, you would become a threat to all he has established. And that is precisely what you are now, a living challenge to his hold on this world. A clear testament that nothing intended to hurt you could prevail, not even the most severe trial. Let us be honest, my cherished child. There were moments you longed for it to end, nights when surrendering seemed the only sensible choice, mornings you wished slumber would keep you from facing the ache. And yet even with a parched throat and a trembling voice, you softly whispered, "I still have faith in you." That quiet statement reached the core of my being. It was during those deepest lows, those times that felt too much to bear, that something unique inside you was revealed. You didn't know it then, but that difficult experience was forming you into a person who cannot be shattered. Others saw destruction. I saw the true worth being brought to light. The scars you carry from this period are not something to conceal, my precious one. They are proof you endured. They show you walking through deep shadows, and yet my presence was even deeper. This is why, when you enter a place, you carry a shift with you. It is not arrogance. It is the enduring sign of what you have conquered. You carry the silent strength of one who went through fierce heat and came out unharmed. You confuse those who thought your path had ended. But this is merely the beginning. The same hand that allowed that difficult time has now prepared the way for your progress. Something previously unseen is about to be revealed. This is not just a small step forward. It is an entirely new chapter in your life's account. But before you step into this, recall the path you have walked. Be aware, my child, lest you see yourself as broken when I see you as ready for my work. You did not endure that time to remain silent. You endured it to speak my truth. Speak it for every sleepless night. Speak it for every tear you cried alone. Speak it for every moment you felt you had lost everything, only to discover me right beside you and grasp this truth, my child. You are not frail. You are not easily shattered. You are not forgotten. That severe test revealed this to you. You have asked why I go through that. There are many answers. One is this: the path I have set for your life requires a strong spirit. You were not made for an easy road. You were made for my light to shine through you. You carry a purpose that demands endurance, a place of impact that requires steadfastness, an ability to touch other lives that needs a deep connection with me. That is what that hard period gave you. Do not feel anger towards it. Honor what it built within you, for even when you felt utterly defeated, I was at work. Everything, not only the good moments, but the hardships, the times you felt crushed, the disloyalties, and most of all, that difficult season, all of it contributed to making you who you are. Move forward now, my child, not merely as one who survived, but as one who can now guide others through their own hard times. That difficult time could not break you because it was not possible. I placed something eternal within you, and what is eternal cannot be destroyed. You are changed now from who you were before that hard time. You are more discerning, more resilient, more steady, less troubled by things that hold no lasting value. You stand as a stronger light against darkness. Now this is exactly why this period is for you. Moving forward is not about being perfect. It is about being proven and found faithful, and you were tested in that fierce trial. So declare it again, my beloved, as a vision for the future, as a truth about the past, as a call to action for this new season. That difficult time did not shatter me. Something special is awakening within you, and it carries the resonance of one who endured fierce heat and refused to surrender. A plan I have kept hidden is unfolding according to my perfect time, and it is about to be finished in your life. This is not just a thought. It is a reality revealing itself. A design from me is being made plain in your journey. When you sense things settling into place like this, it is never by chance. It is always by my design. It reveals how initial disorder is settling into clear arrangement, how damage is being mended, and how incomplete matters are now finding their proper place under my direction. My precious child, you have been walking through a season of deep internal reshaping, a time of testing that unfolded away from the world's view. You faced many challenges stretching you and bringing you to a pure state, and that demanding process is drawing to a close. Hardship does not last forever. The difficult, barren period has its limit, and this moment marks the shift toward inner peace, freedom, and clear understanding. For a long while now, you have felt things building, sensing that something significant was drawing near. You felt my quiet prompting behind you, urging you to stay watchful, to be ready. This is the reason for it all. Something specifically intended for you is about to be set free. Your willingness to follow my lead, even when it didn't seem logical to you, has not gone unnoticed. A breakthrough is very close, my child, but its arrival aligns with my timing, not the result of your striving harder. It will not come because you increased your effort. It will come because you focused your attention more closely on me. Releasing your grip and trusting me even when it feels unreasonable to your mind is essential, because I respond to your inner self being in harmony with mine, not just your outward actions. You are not behind schedule. You have not missed the appointed moment. You are exactly in the place I designed for you to be. This message is not for everyone. Not everyone will grasp the importance of your journey. Not everyone will sense the approaching shift, because what is being revealed now is not meant for the many. It is for those who remained steadfast, for the few who agreed to follow when it demanded everything from them. If you are still here, my beloved child, still focused with your heart open to my presence, then yes, this is for you. You are among those who stayed true, and you are now stepping into this new space. A stirring is happening in the unseen realm, my child. In the unseen realm, a profound resonance is felt as something is set free. I am calling forth those who have been refined by difficulty and kept from public attention for a time. You have not missed the opportunity I prepared for you. You were kept back precisely for this time, set apart and protected until the moment I was appointed. And now, my cherished one, those I have chosen for a particular service are being made visible. This includes you. While others seek human approval, you are meant to carry my nearness. While others crave worldly recognition, you are called to release my power. While many try to blend in, you are made to stand out. The time for apathy is ending. I am summoning those whose direction is clear, whose inner selves are pure, and whose lives are guided by my purpose. I have given you something your adversary fears deeply, your readiness to follow me. Not perfect performance, but simple, genuine agreement to my guidance. This is why opposition grew stronger. Your adversary saw you yield to me and became afraid, because yielding to me always clears the path for my influence to flow through you. I entrust significant spiritual responsibility to those who follow me, even when it requires personal cost. You are one of those, my child. And now, the call is not about putting on a display or seeking validation, but about bringing people together. A worldwide convergence is beginning. Hearts are being awakened. Your history or your past errors do not disqualify you. If you feel my spirit moving within you, you are included. It is not about your credentials or accomplishments. It is about the purpose I placed within you from the start. But understand this clearly. Knowing your purpose without acting on it leads to spiritual stagnation. You need to move forward. This is not a time to simply observe. It is time to align yourself with me. Draw near to the surroundings, the individuals, and the messages that encourage your spirit to follow my lead. Keep your heart sensitive to my presence. If these words resonate deeply within you, my beloved, it is not because of human skill in speaking. It is my spirit confirming what is true. This is my call to those who have remained faithful. Those who have struggled quietly, wept when no one saw, turned away from appealing things that were not from me. Those who care less about being noticed by others and more about being sent by me. I am not seeking those with the most ability, but those who are dedicated, who stand firm when difficulties arise, who will not compromise truth to gain acceptance, who do not require a public stage. Their very existence speaks of me. You were kept from public view, yet you remain true to me. Now I am bringing you forward, my precious child. This is your time to step into the current of my spirit and dedicate yourself fully, not partially or with hesitation, but completely. The work I have for you is important. Your closeness to me carries a great impact. Following me may require sacrifice from you, but its effect will last forever. You are not merely joining an activity. You embody what I am doing. You do not simply adapt to what others do. You transform the spiritual atmosphere around you. When you speak my words, the darkness trembles. When you communicate with me, things that restrict others are released. When you follow my direction, my will is accomplished. Because you are set apart, my beloved one. Therefore, rise up. The time of being silent is finished, and the voice of my faithful ones is growing stronger. You are not on this path alone, my child, nor are you without necessary support. What I have placed upon your life is greater than you understand. Let those I have summoned step forward now. Things are changing not primarily in the visible world you see, but in the spiritual realm. That deep feeling within you, the stirrings in your thoughts during the night, the things that keep you awake, these are indicators that I am arranging matters in the unseen. And you are central to it all, not observing from a distance, not understanding it only after it happens. You are right where my action is taking place. Within the unseen realm, a spiritual sound is perceived. A deep thrum as a release draws near. A specific time has been appointed. When it arrives, something timeless and part of my eternal plan will connect with what I have spoken specifically over you. My reality will intersect with the reality of the earth. And you, my child, if you are aligned with me, will receive what was held back, regain what was taken, and step into what I always intended for you. This message is not for everyone. It is a specific release meant just for you. My spirit is not prompting everyone to act at this moment. Only those who are prepared. Those who have remained steadfast. Those who agreed to follow me even when it meant being unseen, disapproved by others, or losing relationships. You have gone through quiet periods, difficult trials and experiences that felt like stripping away. But I have seen it all. And now hear this, my beloved. I am opening passages that no human can close. Do you sense the intensity surrounding you? That feeling of pressure is not a consequence of doing wrong. It is the sign that something new is about to break forth. What was shaped in your private time with me is about to become visible. The strain you feel right now shows that a great opening is close. This is why the unseen forces have pushed hard against you, and many distractions have tried to pull your attention away. The darkness gets scared when my plan is about to unfold for you, but this cannot be stopped. I have decided, and your name is woven into that decision. The doors opening for you now are not random. They are linked to the purpose I have for you. This is why things felt slow before. The right moment was being prepared, and things that weren't for you were being cleared away. Not every chance you see comes from me. Some are traps that look like good things, but the one coming now is specifically for my purpose, my cherished child. It is from me, and it has your name on it. This is your moment of freedom. Where you felt worried, there will be peace. Where things were unclear, there will be understanding. Where you felt you didn't have enough, there will be provision. Where you feel lost, you will find sure footing. What you couldn't reach by trying hard on your own, you will now walk into simply by being close to me. This is where the things I have promised you become real in your everyday life. Stay right where I have put you, my child. Not because you are afraid, not by forcing it yourself, but with joyful waiting. Because what is coming won't arrive softly. It will push through obstacles, And if your heart isn't ready, you will see the change as confusion when it is truly your freedom breaking loose. This isn't about doing more yourself. It's about trusting me more, waiting patiently and listening closely for my voice. Deep within this freedom, there's a clear word from me rising up in you. Declare that the past season is over. The hard times are finished, and you are stepping into a new space. This isn't just saying words, it's giving yourself over to me. It's you stating, I am done with what was, and I am walking into what is here now. Things are lining up now, my beloved one. People are connecting and a breakthrough is unfolding. This moment isn't just another step, another test, or more time feeling uncertain. It is a door I am opening, a divine freedom that cannot be blocked or weakened, happening because you have walked with me. If you have felt like things were stuck, your progress, your voice, your clear knowing, get ready, my child. The ways in are being cleared. What was shut is opening, and what was hidden is being shown. The breakthrough has begun. This isn't for some future time. It is happening right now. You don't need to show you deserve it. You just need to step in. Step with certainty. Step while talking with me. Step honoring that I am with you. Because when I open a door, it doesn't need anyone else's permission. It moves forward because you trust me, and your trust has been clear. What is coming will make the places of darkness shake. This isn't just strong words or religious language. This is a fight in the unseen world, and you are placed right in the middle. Not as someone being pushed around, but as a tool in my hand. Know this, my child. What happens inside you doesn't just stay there. Your steps forward change the space around you. When I move things in your spirit, it causes trouble in the dark places. As you walk close with me, you find freedom, and that freedom spreads out to those connected to you because you are willing. This is why the fight got harder the moment you gave yourself completely. Why the pushback wasn't just against your body, but against your mind. Why was your sleep disturbed? Your inner peace felt broken, and your feelings seemed to spin without a clear cause. The adversary targeted you, not seeing frailty, but recognizing the power I placed within you was becoming a force opposing them. Because your voice, once complete, would carry my sound like a clear message. And every step you take forward is a direct challenge to the space they thought was theirs. This time isn't just about good things for you, my child. It is about pushing back the darkness. Each advance proclaims you will cease residing below the abundance I hold for you. As you step into what is open now, you are not just finding a new place. You are taking back what was taken. The Dark One held on to your family for a long time, ruling through needing things, fear not having enough, shame and silence. But your life is a break in that old way. Your willingness to walk with me is rising up. Just being who you are in this moment is the battle itself. You may not feel like a fighter, my beloved, but you are ready for the fight. Each instance you spoke with me when you lacked the desire. Each moment you offered thanks, even through tears. Each time you remained silent when harsh words sought to stir you. You were engaged in conflict. Your fight wasn't always seen or heard, but it settled things. You have met resistance not because you were failing, but because you are finally walking in what is real. The way you were before might have fallen under this pressure, but not now. Now you know who you truly are. Now you know I am here with you. Now you are not asking to be saved. You are moving with the authority I have given you. You possess a spiritual right to move forward with boldness, not held captive by fear, but supported by my own might. This very truth is what causes distress to the adversary. This journey is not about outward appeal. It is about being set aside for me. It is not about seeking attention. It is about the task I have entrusted to you. It is not about appearing capable. It is about carrying the genuine weight I assign. When you speak following this transformation, my cherished one, your words will contain more than simple sound. They will carry my power. When you call out to me, chains will break. When you step, the very atmosphere around you will shift. Why is this so? Because the way you stand before me has changed. Your complete surrender has opened something eternal, and the shadows are aware of it. So do not retreat, my child. Do not diminish yourself. Do not doubt the purpose I have placed within you, for the shadows already perceive what you are only now beginning to see. You are formed to dismantle points of opposition. You are raised up to break apart the schemes of the Dark One. You carry a light that no darkness can extinguish. This coming movement is not small. It will echo strongly in the unseen realm. It will bring into the open what has been hidden. It will change locations, households, and ways of living. And it all begins with your agreement, my child. A significant agreement, a sacred pledge, an agreement that causes dark spirits to tremble. Let the shadows be disturbed. You are not going back. Regardless of how strong the impulse, regardless of how convincing the urge to withdraw, regardless of how familiar the paths of your past may seem, you cannot return to the things from which I have liberated you. Not now. The way behind you has been consumed by a fire from my presence, and the only path remaining is ahead. The way you were before is being removed, so the one I have set apart can emerge. That is why some people cannot journey alongside you now. It is not arrogance. It is that your paths no longer align. They are turning around, but you have fixed your gaze on what I have promised. It brings pain to see those you care for depart. My beloved one, it is sharp to be misunderstood. Yet you were not summoned for comfort. You were summoned to be reserved for my purpose. And sometimes being set apart means walking a path by yourself. My realm moves ahead. The purpose I have for you moves ahead, and your inner self must keep pace. Do not let yearning for the past become a snare. The adversary often hides constraints within thoughts of what was. What seems like comfort is truly a holding place. Remember that the very space that offered you a pattern also held you bound. Do not return to the things from which I had to bring you out, my child. My child, consider the distance you have traveled. Your path behind you is long marked by your tears, the things you have given up, the deep pleas. There is no true life for you if you attempt to go back. That place you have left holds only dimness and recurring struggles. When a passage is closed, let it remain that way. When someone departs your journey, release them in peace. What lies before you holds far greater worth than anything in the past. My beloved, you are standing at a critical juncture, a place you have never stood before. It may feel as though forces are pushing against you, hindering your progress. It may seem that old difficulties are pursuing you, but know this truth. I am about to clear a path where there seems to be no way. All I ask of you now is to take the step forward, to move, to show your trust in me through action. So keep advancing, my child, even if your steps feel weak. Keep advancing even if you feel uncertain. Keep advancing even if it means leaving behind all that feels familiar. Move forward, because I am not calling you to return. I am calling you to move ahead, to grow, to step into what is coming. There is no path back for you now. You are right at the edge, the point of change, the unseen boundary between the person you were and the one I always intended you to be. This is more than just an emotion you are experiencing. This is a sacred time, a moment when I am watching, seeing who will answer my call, who will step fully into the new, who will leave the old path behind completely. You cannot go back now. You have witnessed too much, felt too deeply, endured too greatly. Your most heartfelt cries have changed you at your very core. You have navigated such profound difficulties that sometimes only stillness remained. Still, through it all, I kept calling you. It was more than a soft whisper. It was a strong summons, a clear pull from me. Now, everything comes down to this one thing: how you will answer. I am not looking for you to walk without error. I am looking for your heart to be willing to step. Every major change in the path of your life starts with a choice. And you know this deep inside. You have felt it within you. That inward sense of being drawn, that feeling of unease, that sacred disturbance that prevents you from remaining where you once felt secure. My spirit has been gently urging you, waking you up perhaps, even when the world is quiet at night. Not to make you worried, but to call you out. You are being called into the time that is now arriving for you. But you cannot carry the things from the past with you into what is new. The difficulty is that the past feels known. It feels comfortable, a path you can predict. Yet feeling too settled can keep you from responding to my call. You were not made simply to keep going through the same hard things. You were chosen not just to endure, but to end the old cycles. This is the moment to step away and declare, I am not going back for every unfinished dream, closed door, and holy urging. The enemy wants you chained to regret and shame, but I am making all things new. Cling to the past and miss what's ahead. Release the shrinking, hiding survival mode it served then, but it's too small for the sacred season I'm calling you into, filled with my goodness, power, and favor. Walk forward with eyes fixed ahead, steps bold despite fear. Bravery isn't fearlessness, but moving anyway. Each declaration loosens the past's grip, silences lies and reclaims your power. Your history doesn't own you, your path does. Move with my assurance, the door to the past shut forever. Feel the deep, undeniable shift. Chosen ones worldwide sense this stirring as I speak to ready hearts. This message is your marker for a new era where the old ends. I reveal myself and the prepared rise free. That inner pressure is my spirit guiding you to breakthrough. Your spirit knows the way, even if your mind doubts.